Thank you for joining the podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, that airs on AWSM Radio Saturdays at 11 a.m., repeats Sundays at 11 a.m. This is the podcast version of the show. Before we get started, be sure to check out my friends at socialbee.io. They are a amazing social media management folks. They're fantastic. 14-day free trial. Check them out. You'll use them. I do. I think you'll enjoy them immensely. So check them out. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur astroplane pirate. And welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. AWSM Radio focuses on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day. All we do is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want to engage with you. I want you to be part of the conversation. So find me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Facebook, on the Cameo, on the Counter Social, even on the Twitch at Colt S. Taylor. And of course, bookmark ColtSebastianTaylor.com. And if you, for some reason, are just too busy this lovely May weekend, you can always catch the podcast version of the show at anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up this week is an update to a story that I did, this was almost 18 months ago. So I'm not going to go back and find the old file, but in 2021, there was a plane crash where someone was filming themselves flying, had an engine failure, and had to bail out of the aircraft and parachute safely to the ground. Just so happens he had multiple cameras attached to the plane, was wearing a skydiving parachute, and had one of those selfie sticks to film himself jumping out of the plane and parachuting to the ground. This was YouTuber Trevor Jacob. And you know what? The federal authorities were saying, weird. Weird that all this sort of happened. I think we need to investigate this. And wouldn't you know it, the crash in California in the Los Padres Natural Forest was, it turns out, intentional. Yes, the government said that he had purposely pretended to have an engine failure so he could jump out of the plane and then film the plane crashing and pretend that he just did this to save his life in order to gain notoriety and to make money. And this week, part of a plea agreement, he pled guilty to obstructing a federal investigation by the FAA. The charge, which is destruction and concealment with the intent to obstruct a federal investigation, could give 20 years in prison. Not quite the views of notoriety he was looking for. They pled guilty to it. So he made a plea deal. Probably won't get all 20 years, but he's probably going to jail. So, this video was posted in 2021, November 2021. It's a 12-minute video. I've watched it. It seems a little sus, if you ask me. And got 3 million views. However, the charge, obstruction, said that the guy helicopter to go in and hoist the wreckage out of the remote area and then dismantle and dispose of the aircraft as a way to obstruct the investigation. So obviously, if he said he had engine failure and they've examined the engine and like, hey, this engine's fine, then he's lying to the authorities. So obviously his pilot's license was revoked in 2022. At the time, he had said to ABC News, quote, "I did not jump out of my plane for views." The federal authorities disagreed. Disagreed. He surrendered his license in April 2022 to the FAA. And then, he was charged with this crime and whatnot. So how long will he serve? Unclear. He's expected to appear in a few weeks for the final sentencing. Unlikely to get 20 years in jail, but I would just be willing to bet some YouTube views that probably not probation and a fine. I believe, if I had to guess, they're probably send a message to these YouTubers that, hey, don't crash planes for views. Not cool, man. Not cool. Moving along into entertainment news, Keanu Reeves, the star of The Matrix, John Wick, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures, Bogus Adventures, and subsequent adventures. Well, hey, guess what? Did you know he's also a musician? Yes, that's true. He was in a band in the late 90s, early aughts called Dogstar. And guess what, Keanu Reeves music fans? He's back, baby. Dogstar, the name of the band, is reuniting after 20 years. They put a photo on their Instagram. They posted a photo from their 1990s heyday with a message saying, "We're back." They plan to be playing at the Bottle Rock Napa Valley Music Festival on May 27th and release a new album later this year. It includes guitar vocalist Brett Domrose and drummer Rob Mailhouse. Dogstar's back, baby. In the message, it was said, quote, "Thank you, everyone, for the kind comments. We are overjoyed to see such a response. Honestly, didn't expect this. It makes us want to play out even more." So, the band formed in the 1990s after a chance encounter between Keanu Reeves and Mailhouse at a supermarket. They released 3 albums, Quattro Formaggi in 1996, Our Little Visionary in 1996, and Happy Ending in 2000. Keanu Reeves said of the group in a 1993 article, "We're terrible. We've played about 10 times now, and though we're getting better, we play better in a garage. But I say, better regret something that you have done than regret something you haven't done." So they played for about almost 10 years. Played across the globe. They opened for Bon Jovi, David Bowie. They headlined shows with Weezer and Rancid when they were up and coming. But the last show was in Japan in 2002 before they quit. In another GQ interview in 2019, Keanu Reeves said that his time with Dogstar, he felt bad that his bandmates faced criticism for being part of the actor's musical ambitions. Quote, "I guess it would have helped if our band was better." He remembered a time that he was booed relentlessly on stage. Quote, "We played the Milwaukee Metal Fest, got killed. I think we played close to punk legends Murphy's Law. Imagine. So we played a Grateful Dead cover at Milwaukee Metal Fest. We were like, they hate us. What are we doing here? What can we do? Let's do the Grateful Dead cover. They're just like, F you suck. I had the biggest grin on my face." So anyways, they are coming back. They're going to be releasing an album this summer. I don't know if you're a big Dogstar fan. I can say with some authority, never heard a song. But hey, you know what? It's Keanu Reeves. He's lived his best life and still friends with his old bandmates. I mean, you can't really fault him for that. So hey, Mr. Wick Matrix, Keanu Reeves, good luck and break a leg out there as you reunite with the band Dogstar. In other music news, amazing singer Janelle Monáe is releasing a new album called The Age of Pleasure, and released a latest music video called Lipstick Lover. And it is I guess you could say, very sensual video. Holy moly. She had been releasing photos and video clips on the Twitter, and I would say with some authority, not exactly safe for work. But anyways, she's amazingly talented. I really do enjoy her music. And this is looking like it's going to be yet another fantastic one. The new studio album is out June 9th via Wonderland Arts Society / Atlantic Records. It was the first studio album since the 2018 Grammy-nominated release of Dirty Computer. She said in a interview, the song Lipstick Lover, she said, quote, "That song Lipstick Lover, I'm like, why didn't I write this song years ago? Because if you know me today, I don't have any red lipstick, but I'm always in red lipstick. And there have been so many instances where I've made out with somebody at a party and it's dark. Nobody notices it. But when the lights come on, whoever I've made out with, lipstick is all over their face, and they've also been on the receiving end of a human who's so attractive. Or I'll get home and like, oh my god, I have lipstick all over my face. And I've also been the lipstick lover where you know exactly who I kissed. So she's a very affectionate person, and that was the sort of, I guess, the muse for the song. So check out Janelle Monáe. I'm sure they'll play her music here on AWSM Radio as well. But June 9th, The Age of Pleasure is a lot of R&B songs. Very good stuff. You should definitely check her out. In other entertainment news, Rob Lowe, actor Rob Lowe from, the last few decades and whatnot, marked an important milestone, 33 years of sobriety, yes, 33 years of being sober. He had a heck of a time 33 to 35 years ago with alcohol, drugs. He was part of the Brat Pack back in the day, and cleaned himself up and marked 33 years of sobriety. You may know him from a variety of shows, including The West Wing, Parks and Rec. He's a fireman in like Lone Star, the Star Rescue 9. I don't know. I don't watch that show, but he said it, quote, 33 years ago, I found recovery and a tribe that has sustained me on my incredible, grateful journey. My life is full of love, family, God, opportunity, friends, work, dogs, and fun. He's 59 years old now. He still looks amazing. He shared a message of encouragement to others dealing with addiction. He goes on to say, quote, if you or someone you know is struggling with any form of addiction, hope and joy are waiting if you want it and are willing to work for it. Many of his friends and family commented on his post with words of encouragement. Gwyneth Paltrow said, we are so proud of you. We love you so much. His son, John Lowe, said, proud of your recovery. Opposite feeling about this selfie. Then Matthew Lowe, his other son, said, it works if you work it. He had opened up about his battle with alcohol addiction. He shared the story in 2021. He realized he had addiction as a teenager when he missed a phone call from his mother about his grandfather being in the hospital. Quote, when I got sober, who I really was came out, and it turned out I was one of the first of my peers to get married and have kids. That guy was in me all the time, but the life I was leading wouldn't let him out. So, Mr. Rob Lowe, congratulations on 33 years of being sober. Lots of help out there, folks, if you feel like you may have an addiction problem. So it is absolutely perfectly okay to ask for help from friends and family, or just to do it yourself. Lots of folks out there are waiting to help someone else. Just watch out for like the weird cultish people. There's a few weird sobriety cults out there. I'm about to say who. I don't want to throw anyone on the bus, but I've come across a few sober people like, oh gosh, take it down a notch, man. But anyways, hey, do whatever works for you to stay healthy. So anyways, Rob Lowe, 33 years of being sober. Way to go, sir. Speaking of years and years and years of something, you know what we've had for years and years here on AWSM Radio? It's my pal DC and his shows here over the weekend to provide you the soundtrack for your evening. First up, we have on Friday nights at 9 p.m., it's DC Live in Effect. You don't want to miss out when he smashes it on the ones and twos, kicking the beats from South Florida, which he unfortunately lives in. Boy, I just don't like that state. Then on Saturdays, it's DC House Party Saturdays. DC brings his freestyling DJing to the max. House Party Saturdays gives you the Miami vibes without actually having to be there. From the top clubs to the bars, DC will bring the party to you. That's Saturdays at 10 p.m. Then Sundays at 10 p.m., it's DC Live in Effect again. So, just to review, Fridays at 9 p.m., DC Live in Effect. Saturdays at 10 p.m., DC House Party Saturdays. And then Sundays at 10 p.m., DC Live in Effect again, only here, my friends, on AWSM Radio. Next, my friends, we go to Florida, a very popular punching bag for me, mostly because of their governor, Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis, with aspirations to be president, Florida, where woke goes to die, apparently, picking fights with Disney, teachers, all sorts of people. So, just to review, he doesn't like Disney, tried to take away their power to run their own little area there that they've done for decades and decades. Disney kind of maneuvered them. He's trying to get that revoked, wants to build a state prison next to Disney just to show them up. Let's see here. Recently, he proposed a law that would prevent unions from taking dues from paychecks, which is common, and that any union that didn't have 60% of the workers part of it, then that union would be decertified, as in you're not allowed to have a union unless you have 60% participation. Notable exceptions, police and fire unions, which may not surprise you, tend to swing to the right. But now his next thing, and he's also been flying illegal immigrants all across the country unannounced to dump them off at other locations to show blue states what he has to deal with. Fun fact, these flights, very expensive, and I believe one of his, associates is in charge of it, private citizen, making some money off the state of Florida. Well, this week, they signed a bill to sort of clean up illegal immigrants, to get them out of Florida. They're costing Florida $220 million of health care on illegal immigrants. And their children, they shouldn't be allowed to go to college. They shouldn't be allowed to drive. They gotta get out of Florida. Well, you know what? The phrase, the unintended consequences? Well, as Ron DeSantis probably doesn't know, because he isn't what I would say a very smart man, immigrants do a lot of stuff in Florida. They don't just, use up health care. And a lot of people say, oh man, a job that an illegal immigrant is doing, that's a job an American can do. They're taking their gerbs. Well, after this law was passed, there were some videos popping around the old Twitter of work sites that used to have, 100 or 200 people working on apartments and homes, roofing and plumbing, are not working. There's like 3 or 4 people there. because the company employed a lot of illegal immigrants. And so many home sites around Florida where construction is going on have come to a complete halt. They've come to a complete halt because there's no one there to work there. Now, I'm sure, hey, listen, I'm sure there are good red blood Americans out there who are willing to go down there and help build houses for the American dream. I'm sure there are. They're currently not in Florida, but I'm sure there are. But another industry that is heavily reliant on manual labor, the agriculture. Yeah, agriculture. Yeah, it's not all machines. A lot of fruits, a lot of vegetables are still hand-picked in the middle of summer by immigrants. Some of them with undetermined immigration status. And they work very, they don't work for minimum wage, that's for sure. But yeah, so there are fields in Florida where crops are not being picked because no one's coming to work to pick them because they don't want to be harassed by Florida and put on a plane and sent to Martha's Vineyard. So if the law is, hey, get out of Florida, seems to be working. Side effect, higher costs for homes, vegetables, and fruits because there's no one picking these things, and these farms will eventually go out of business because they can't sell their crops because the crops are rotting in the fields. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I'm surprised by. You know, I hear all the time that, illegal immigrants, they're taking American jobs. Okay, fine. I don't think anyone's taking. If this was truth, where are all of these unemployed Americans ready to pick carrots out of fields, dig up potatoes, get bushels of lettuce for, again, probably barely minimum wage, which is quite a bit of an increase? Where are they? Why are they flocking to Florida? Well, I guess there's no homes down there to live in because work sites have stopped. But explain that to me. So, I can't help but to think that this, along with all the other things, this ridiculous tin pot authoritarian wannabe Ron DeSantis has done to Florida, to make Florida a really awful place to be, unless you're like white. Let's be honest, that's what it is. This is just another way for him to stick it to the libs. That's going to increase the cost of food, housing for the people of Florida, while paying his friend to fly other people to other places that are honestly nicer and more decent demographic of people than Florida. Yeah. So that's his intention. We'll see what happens. It seems like a terrible idea, right? Farms going under so you can stick it to the libs. But hey, you know what? That's what you voted for, I guess, Florida. That's what you voted for. So anyways, follow this on Twitter. There's some very funny videos of like a lonely taco truck driving around a work site, and there's no one there to buy food from it. This is really impacting the food cart industry as well. These burrito taco trucks and whatnot, and there's street tacos and hot dogs and burgers. I forget the name of it. Anyways, all these sort of food trucks, yeah. Just driving around work sites with no one to sell their food to because these work sites are abandoned. Now, my friends, it's time for the only reoccurring segment on this show that was totally unintentional, but it's time for a Kanye West update. The Easter, the Yeezy, but more of a business update. As you may remember, Mr. The Easter here ran into a bit of a problem last year with a variety of statements, including an appearance on Alex Jones, where he said he loved Hitler and Nazis because he's all about love. Well, who didn't love that were his sponsors, including Adidas, which cut ties with him altogether. Unfortunately, as you may or may not know, in the apparel, shoes, clothing industry, things get made over a time span. So by the time they canceled their relationship with Mr. Kanye West, there are a lot, they have a lot of his things made. How much? $1.2 billion worth of Yeezy brand merchandise that have piled up in its warehouse. At one point, the company thought it would just burn everything, according to CEO Bjorn Gulden. However, he said burning is not the solution. They will, however, be selling all leftover Yeezy stock and give the proceeds to charity. According to the CEO, quote, "What we are trying to do now over time is sell parts of this inventory and donate money to the organizations that are helping us and that were so hurt by Kanye's statements." He didn't say which organizations would get the donations, but offloading the Yeezy products will finally close the book on a once lucrative deal between Adidas and Kanye West, now known as Yeezy. They began to collaborate together in 2016, at the time calling it the most significant partnership ever created between an athletic brand and a non-athlete. However, after last October's variety of anti-Semitic remarks, they cut ties with him after weeks of pressure from celebrities and others. Demand for Yeezy's shoes among sneakerheads, and these are folks that collect sneakers, like some people collect commemorative plates, some people collect coins, some people collect cars, some people collect, Battlestar Galactica figurines. A lot of people collect sneakers. They're known as sneakerheads. They don't even wear them. They just have them displayed in these very well-lit rooms of just sneakers. Anyways, as soon as they announced that there were going to be no more, prices skyrocketed, and demand for these shoes increased on the sneaker market, I guess. I don't know. Sales of Yeezy products were 10% of Adidas' annual revenue last year. That is not an insignificant number. After terminating the partnership, the company predicted it would lose $246 million from its bottom line in the first year. That's $250 million. They expect to lose another $1.3 billion in sales this year because Yeezy clothes and shoes will not be available. The lack of Yeezy apparel, according to a company report, said reduced the operating profit by $534 million, $250 million. The company projected to break even this year. But losing all these products will not doom Adidas, according to an analyst from Money Watch at CBS. They noted that the Yeezy products made up only a small fraction of roughly the 300 million pairs of shoes the giant sells each year. Quote from Jonathan Komp, senior researcher at Baird. Bigger picture, we believe Adidas remains one of the better positioned global athletic brands capable of benefiting from strong global athletic and athleisure trends among the enhanced efforts to address key consumer trends and to drive better long-term profitability. Last month, however, investors filed a class action lawsuit saying that executives knew about Yeezy's problematic behavior for years and stalled on ending the partnership. In the personnel risk section of the 2018 annual report, the company touted its commitment to have an equitable workplace, quote, while failing to discuss how it routinely ignored extreme behavior by Kanye West. According to the lawsuit, which represents people who bought Adidas stock between 2018 and 2023, Yee is not named as the defendant of the case. Basically, there's a lawsuit saying, hey, you knew this guy was a nutcase, but you did stop it, and now we lost money buying stock. That's basically the gist of the lawsuit. So, if you are still a big old fan of Kanye West, Kanye 2024, Adidas is going to be clearing out the rest of his products, so you might get some deals for all those, Kanye West apparel collection people out there. I'm sure there's some. But look for that where you buy your popular Adidas footwear. While Adidas may be going out of stock of Yeezy branded products, something we are never out of stock here at AWSM Radio is sessions of the Rock Sessions. That's right, the Rock Sessions is our drive time show here on AWSM Radio, making sure your evening commute home is fun, featuring the hottest music on the charts and some other surprises in between. My pal, the lovely, beautiful, fantastic Rocks will make it rock style, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You know what? I'll throw Friday in for free, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. only here, my music friends, on AWSM Radio. In other apparel news, my friends, if you got a few $1 million, this coming soon to an auction, you can buy Michael Jordan's Dream Team Olympic jacket from the 1992 Summer Olympics. That's right. Remember the Dream Team? The Dream Team NBA stars at the Olympics. It was the first time in the history of the Olympics that the professional athletes were allowed to participate from the NBA, and Michael Jordan, along with a variety of other people, including Scottie Pippen, Clyde Drexler, I think even Larry Bird. I don't remember. I was very young at the time. Played basketball in the Olympics. They won their gold medal after beating Croatia 117-85 in the finals in Barcelona, Spain. But there was a bit of controversy in this jacket. Michael Jordan was a Nike athlete, exclusive deal with Nike. But it was a Reebok jacket that had the Reebok logo on it. They were the official sponsor. So, and it was mandatory that they wear this jacket during the medal ceremony. It was their team uniform. So Michael Jordan said he would, but he wanted to drape a flag over the jacket to hide the Reebok logo. He didn't want a picture of him wearing a Reebok logo. But Michael Jordan is not the one selling this jacket. It is a gentleman named Brian McIntry. Brian McIntry. He has the jacket. He possessed the jacket. He has had it for 30 years. Now, how did he get the jacket? Well, he worked for the NBA. He joined the league's communication department in 1981. And he joined the team when the NBA went to Barcelona. He went there to the Olympics to provide support. Now, Michael Jordan did not want to wear this jacket. So he wore it, he draped a flag over it to hide the logo, because he was he was a Nike athlete. And after the medal ceremony, he gave the jacket to him, Brian here, as a gift. He said, "I certainly don't want it," Michael Jordan said to the guy. So McIntry took it. He brought the jacket with a patch that says, "Reebok is proud to honor America's finest." And he took it. He took it with him. And but when Michael Jordan went to join baseball for a year, try baseball, he thought, okay, Michael Jordan might want this jacket back. So he sent it to him. But instead, Michael Jordan sent it back, and he autographed it saying, "To Brian, thanks for everything, Michael Jordan." Michael Jordan. So he kept it for 29 years, telling the story how he was reluctant to wear it. And but now he's going to sell it at auction. Michael Jordan is aware of this. He approves of it, I guess. Well, he gives it away. He can't stop him. But he's aware of it. He doesn't, obviously has not released it. He has any problem with it. According to Brian McIntry, I can't really see this guy's name. He said, "I've enjoyed it, and it's just the right time to do this, and it's easier to do this than leave it for my kids and whatnot." So, this auction will be online in Sotheby's. It will be displayed in New York from June 24th to June 28th. According to Sotheby's head of streetwear and modern collectibles, quote, "To be able to sell this relic from such a historic event one that is often credited for multiplying the popularity and global reach of basketball, is both rare and unparalleled. And beyond its legendary place in Olympic history, the jacket represents Michael Jordan's fierce and devoted loyalty to Nike, a transformative and revolutionary partnership between two powerhouses that has stood the test of time. So how much do they think this will get? How much do you think this will get? Well, I will tell you. They are expecting that this jacket from the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona, worn by Michael Jordan, apparently signed by Michael Jordan, $1 to $3 million. It's a steal, really. So I'm curious who's going to buy it, and what the final price will be. So I will try to remember. If I don't remember to tell you what happens here in July, let me know. I'll look it up. But very, very interesting stuff. I hope the guy gets a good price for it. That's the kind of money that would help help send some kids through college or grandkids. The guy seems old. But anyways, if you got $1 to $3 billion, my friends, you may be able to display, maybe next to your Kanye West sneaker collection, the jacket Michael Jordan wore in 1992 at the Barcelona Olympics. Now, speaking of sports and basketball, my friend, what a natural segue, perhaps the most natural segue I've ever done for this ad. We've got a basketball show here on AWSM Radio. It's To the Rack with Mac, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. To the Rack with Mac is your go-to spot for all things basketball. Join NBA expert Mac Daddy as he brings you a full hour of high-flying hoops expertise for all things NBA. Tune in Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. And then at 10 p.m., more sports. It's What's Going On. What's Going On is our Fox Sports affiliate show, providing listeners with over 150 combined years of sports knowledge. Hosted by Nate Brown and his crew, they have been a staple of Western New York sports for the past 2 decades. 150 years combined knowledge between these guys. And now they're national, and we've got them here at 10 p.m. So, AWSM Radio, Wednesday nights, your place for sports. 9 p.m., To the Rack with Mac. 10 p.m., What's Going On, here on AWSM Radio. Finally, this week we go to Pakistan, where former Prime Minister Imran Khan was arrested for a few days. He is currently in a variety of court cases with the government. Like I said, former Prime Minister of Pakistan from 2018 to 2022. He was arrested. This in turn caused a lot of protests throughout the country, of which over 1,000 people were arrested during this protest that occurred in Islamabad, Peshawar, Lahore, and Karachi. The Supreme Court of Pakistan then declared that the arrest was illegal, and he was released. He is now out on bail for 2 weeks in this situation here, and there is a lot of unrest in Pakistan over this. He still has a lot of supporters, and a lot of people also do not like him. He has been criticizing the army in Pakistan, saying that they are responsible for a lot of the woes that's going on in the country, and that his arrest and the crimes being put against him are just basically a way to keep him quiet, according to him. So in these protests, at least 8 people lost their lives, according to police and members of his political party. 290 were injured, and over 1,900 were detained at some point. But hopefully with his release, things will calm down a bit, and they'll be able to sort things out. But I would say tensions remain high in Pakistan. Fun fact, also a nuclear-armed country, so I imagine a lot of countries will be paying attention to see what exactly is going on over there. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up all the time we have here on the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Hope you enjoyed our time as much as I did Remember, you can hit me up, say hello, complain to me on a variety of social media channels, including the Twitter, the Instagram, the Facebook, the Cameo. Well, that's more of a... Yeah, hit me up on Cameo. Counter Social. Even on Twitch at Colt S. Taylor. Bookmark ColtSebastianTaylor.com. I'll update it one of these days. And of course, if you have missed the show, you tuned in just now to hear me wrap things up, you can catch the podcast version of the show at anchor.fm/Colt S. Taylor, posted there, and also on YouTube, usually Sundays right around noon. Until next time, my friends, I am, of course, your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later. And once again, thank you for listening to the podcast version of the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. Check out socialbeat.io for all of your social media posting needs. And of course, subscribe to wherever you are listening to this podcast, because, hey, that supports the show. Until next week, my friends, once again, I'm Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.